I woke up very unhappy. Dude, I'm very scared. I was very scared and uncomfortable. I was scared. I did not have fun watching the movie. I'm just like panicked. Goosebumps. Scared. I want to leave. I think in terms of scared, I was very scared. I'm scared.
All right. Well, howdy, my fellow howlers, and welcome back for the 5th ever episode of Two Men and a Baby, the half-hour-ish horror show where three best friends discuss a new horror movie each episode. As usual, I'm joined to my right by the very vocally talented Brendan Fletcher, and to my left by the baby himself, the very funny Abbie Krinsky. And, you know, I got to say, I'm very thankful for both of them.
I see what you did there.
Gobble, gobble, my precious Gooba Chucks. This episode is about Eli Roth's Thanksgiving.
Hit that theme song, B-Man.
2 men and a baby, oh yeah. 2 men and a motherfucking baby.
So for those that don't know, I don't know how old it was, maybe 15 years ago, Quentin Tarantino and Robert Rodriguez made a double feature called Grindhouse, where they each directed half or one movie each. But in between, there was like an intermission and trailers, fake trailers for movies that were never going to be made. One of them was Machete, which did get made, also by Robert Rodriguez. And one of the other ones was Thanksgiving, which was a Thanksgiving-themed 1970s slasher. Well, Eli Roth eventually did make the movie.
And he made the trailer, too. And
yeah, he directed the trailer, and it, you know, the fake trailer did say, like, Thanksgiving, directed by Eli Roth. Abbie, you were telling me that he said,
when they asked him, like, how does it work? Because the movie, like, did you make the exact movie? Because obviously he didn't. This movie takes place now. That movie was in the 70s, like, slasher style. He said the way he described it was, imagine that a movie in the 70s called Thanksgiving was made, and it was so grotesque and horrific that all the copies of it were destroyed. And the only thing that was left and found on like a 4chan server was the trailer for that movie, which is the trailer we saw in Grindhouse. And now Eli Roth, in this fake world he's making up, has remade the movie modern day. That's what we watched. I feel like we're giving him way too much credit. Well, we'll get into it, but Jesus, that's a lot of backstory for what
I didn't know any of this.
Oh, yeah,
neither.
You two didn't know this. I did. I actually have notes about like what some things that I remembered from the trailer that he did differently or were like maybe a pseudo homage to himself.
Will has a tattoo that says, "You two didn't know this, but I did."
That should be the name of the podcast, honestly.
That's what it feels like.
All right. Well, the way we usually start is each one of us will give a one-sentence synopsis in our own very personalized words.
Synopsisly way.
And then we'll give you the real synopsis, you know, for contrast, but also so you know what the movie is about. After that, we'll give our general broad thoughts and tell you whether or not we would recommend the movie. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
All right, Sammy's synopsis leading off.
If you're making it go.
You know he's going deep on the first page.
Nah, listen, it's something I just cooked up. No pun intended. Thanksgiving dinner. All right, here we go. After a deadly riot over free waffle irons, a psychotic serial killer looks to ensure that this Thanksgiving, the citizens of Plymouth are on the menu.
Oof.
I like that. I like that.
He's on a streak. I'll go next. Horror in America strikes again during a Black Friday sale, but this time Eli Roth is slashing 50% off human body parts. And that comes in the form of a pilgrim committing local genocide where Native Americans have been replaced by thick, accented mass holes.
Boom, baby.
I like that. Also, no one can see it, but Will's doing like 8 Mile rapping gestures as he says it. Like,
nice job, dude. That was tight.
That was good. I didn't write one. All right, we can figure this out.
Okay, and Abby's out of the group.
Okay, it's Thanksgiving in fucking Massachusetts, and a guy's killing people, and everybody else in the movie has never acted before.
Fuck, dude. Good job, kid. Good job.
I was thinking about Googling like how to do a Boston accent on the way here, because even though my dad's from there and we went to school there, I just can't
Abbie, did you think
do it.
That was Stella.
Did you think we'd do this episode without You didn't just roll a Stomach in Malvern for a box of Quadas.
The thing is that
we're gonna do the synopsis real quick, boys.
I could watch that scene on repeat for the rest of my life and not.
this fucking movie has a lot of over-the-top Boston accents, but it's still better Boston accents than the fucking town.
I disagree.
Like, the town has some of the worst Boston accents I've ever fucking heard.
Blake Lively.
Dude, what's his name?
Yes.
Well, yeah. Ben Affleck, obviously, his is good, but also
He
Jeremy
better be. That's
Renner's.
his whole
Jeremy
personality.
Renner's was excellent, I thought.
Yeah.
He got
He's
nominated for supporting act.
He's the best
Should
actor
we just
in
talk
that
about
movie.
the town? We should talk about
Yeah,
the town.
wait. So
Ben Affleck is just kind of like down and
he's
out.
recovered from Oxycontin.
Guys, listen up. We're not going to talk about history. We're not going to talk about geography. We're going to talk about this movie. Will, go ahead. Break it down.
I'm gonna center us real quick. So the whole point was to have juxtaposition to the real synopsis. Here it is. After a Black Friday riot ends in tragedy, a mysterious Thanksgiving-inspired killer terrorizes Plymouth, Massachusetts, the birthplace of the holiday. Picking off residents one by one, what begins as random revenge killings are soon revealed to be part of a larger, sinister holiday plan. Will the town uncover the killer and survive the holidays, or become guests at his twisted holiday dinner table?
I vote Brendan's.
Nice. Thanks, dude.
Brendan's was better.
But I mean, synopsis aside, this movie, trash.
Trash. Will loved it. We're about to hear an hour of him telling us how wrong we are.
I'm not going to say you're wrong, but I loved it.
No, I'm joking. It wasn't trash, but
I also had so much wine.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I think there's a theme going on. A, our alcoholism coming to light, but B, we have a different sort of drink each time. This was our wine movie. We did we've done vodka before.
Some least appropriate movie for wine.
We had some big Merlot massacre vibes, you know.
I was the only one that didn't have responsibilities the next day, and I made sure that I made the most out of that. I did rewatch the second half 3 or 4 hours later.
I'm glad,
and I liked it even more. So.
It was decent. To me, it was middle of the road. But I will say, after kind of going back, for a second watch, I did pick up on things I didn't the first time, and it made me appreciate it a little more in some of like the hidden meanings and messages and little things Eli Roth was able to accomplish in this film.
And sorry, I was going to say we're going to give our thoughts and say whether or not we would recommend the movie, which you guys clearly, I guess, don't want to. But 2 really important announcements. One, I was diagnosed with ADHD recently, so
one really important announcement.
Wait, didn't I say 2?
Oh, that's so ADHD of you too, dude.
Well, this is why I forget stuff all the time and talk over these guys incessantly.
Yeah, that's his thing. He doesn't need to work on himself at all. It's a disease.
The second, probably more important announcement is that we're live. We're live. Our podcast is on the air and available on Spotify and Apple Podcasts.
This is like when you go to watch a trailer for a movie and then there's a trailer to watch the trailer for the movie before it. It's like they're listening. Will how would they be listening if they didn't know that?
Well,
but I like the promotion.
Thank you guys for listening.
Yeah.
Mom, Dad, Emily, Stevie.
Hey, Fletcher.
How many followers do we have on our Instagram page now?
Like
did we break 30?
8,000.
No, we're definitely single digits,
30.
right?
Yeah. I think we're at like 30.
Singy dig.
Yeah.
So let's keep those numbers going, guys. I really appreciate it. Spread the word. We really appreciate you guys taking time out of your day to listen to us idiots talk about movies. But
and in perfect timing with all of our like how prepared we are, how good we are at promotion, marketing. We're pretty much big PR guys. This movie, this release is very timely with Thanksgiving because you're probably hearing this
Some would say perfect timing.
January or February. You're hearing this right now. So we're right on top of it.
Yeah.
You know those posts where it's like 1 like and I'll suck my own dick or something.
Yeah.
If we get,
Yeah.
I don't
Where
know.
are your followers?
All right, listen.
Okay,
up.
so what did you guys?
Let's go recommend. Are we recommend this movie? What did you think?
So let me say first, because clearly you guys have already showed your hand that you didn't like it. I loved it, not just because I like these campy kind of tongue-in-cheek movies, but I also think that Eli Roth is a actually very, very smart, kind of twisted sense of humor guy who probably doesn't get, I don't want to say doesn't get enough credit, but doesn't get the, there's a certain appreciation for like all these little overt, like, I don't know, like, you know, this violent attack on American consumerism, and also the fact that, you know, somebody named Carver is the killer as a pilgrim who happens to, in our fantasy be killing Americans instead of like Native Americans, right? I don't know. There are like all these little things, and we've talked about this before. He does put that very serious, like, we hire not so good actors to play a serious role. I don't know. I thought it was hilarious. The gore and the kills were very unique and fun. Yeah, I mean, I came in already liking him, and he's made 1 or 2 movies that are terrible, but this one got me excited about him and his brand, like, all over again.
Yeah, again, like, upon second viewing, and right before I watched it again, I read this interview with him where he talks about, and I didn't realize this, that he's a big animal rights activist, and there was a blurb from an interview I read where he basically said, I wanted the audience, to watch this movie and kind of understand the perspective of a turkey on Thanksgiving.
Wait, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
What?
So, like, which if you look at the movie in that sense, like, and also to your point about consumerism and how, anyway, there's a million
now
symbols.
I'm just picturing watching it through like a black and white filter, just looking up at people like we're all running around in circle going gobble gobble.
Well, it is like a barbaric act. Like if you do come from the perspective of like veganism or like an animal rights perspective, it, like having like a body of a turkey on your table where everyone
like
sits around like this weird ceremonial spread. It's like barbaric. It's like ritualistic. It is kind of barbaric and crude. So like there were a lot of symbols of throughout the movie, which upon second watch I was like, oh wow, this is pretty nuanced and smart. So I don't know if are we doing recommend, not recommend, because you didn't really say it. Okay, so I would basically say like I would recommend this movie to someone who didn't really have much to do on whatever a Sunday night. But if someone was like, I love horror movies and I want to see something that I'm gonna like remember, whatever. No, not necessarily, but it did have entertainment value, and I thought that was enough for someone to just kind of looking to do something for an hour and a half. Abbie, what are you thinking, dude?
Okay, so I can preface everything by like even a stupid fucking movie like this, I'm still easily scared. I still know that my go-to is to find flaws to cover up how scared I am. So I know that some of these points that I will make are on purpose, but it was. And I had fun. The kills were good, and we'll get to that. I like the kills. The beginning, before we get into the kills, especially, is some of the worst acting I've ever seen. Someone in the first scene, and this is amazing. Maybe Eli Roth is a genius and deserves an award. He had someone say "Happy Thanksgiving" badly. Like, how do you walk into a house, anybody, and you're a professional actor, and your line is "Happy Thanksgiving," and you say it wrong? And they literally did that. Someone walked in and said like "Happy Thanksgiving," and it was just like that's not how you say it. No one would ever say that. It was unfucking believable how he was able to pull that off. And again, maybe looking back, he's genius, because to take professional actors and make them this bad was phenomenal. Not that these actors are like probably all that great, but it was a feat in that way. I think that he sort of writes, I know he wrote it with someone else, but he sort of writes dialogue like an alien that's never talked to a human being before and spends a lot of time on like incel Reddit, but like he also sort of like maybe invented part of that. So like, again, maybe this man's galaxy brain, so like good for him. And I would say, again, there's good kills. We'll get to it. I think it had better kills than Saw, even though, so it's like, it didn't toe that line where there was any moment where it was serious. It was so stupid that I give it more props than Saw, but I also, like Brendan said, like, dude, there's a lot of movies you should be seeing before you see this, probably.
Yeah, definitely.
And the last thing I'll say, which we'll get into this because I know you got rebuttals. Will's been holding his tongue. It's very proud. His therapist would be so proud. The other thing I want to talk about is like I got introduced to Eli Roth by Will dragging me to Hostel and Hostel 2 when we were kids.
Yeah.
And that shit fucked me up.
I don't know about Hostel 2.
Hostel 1 definitely got me into Eli Roth. Like I had the poster in my room when I was in whatever,
Hostel 1
11 years old.
Also is like the first half is some of the excruciatingly worst acting that you'll ever.
That's what I was wondering. I didn't
like
catch
a
on as bad.
It's good for a 10-year-old though.
Well, I don't have any of you seen Cabin Fever?
No, that's his first one,
It
right?
is totally deliberate. That's what I was.
No, I don't doubt that. I mean,
it's almost an homage. He's making horror movies for horror.
Those campy
I want to see some
old movies from the 70s.
I want to see some
100%,
behind the scenes of this because I would love like a
You
guy
wanna
walks
hear
in
him
and goes
admit
like
that?
"Happy Thanksgiving," and then he's like, "No, try saying it more like no one would ever say it.
100%,
Like,
though,
that's-
I believe.
Yeah,
This
like the
guy
corniness. He's like, I'm looking for a golden brown guy with his head cut off. He's like, I'll serve him up on a silver platter for you. Get in here, bud. And it's like stupid jokes, but it hits a mark.
So Cabin Fever was his first movie. Nobody knew his brand or what he did or whatever, right? And at the beginning of the movie, you know how every horror movie, like Deliverance or Texas Chainsaw, there's always like a gas station or a store where you realize something is off and it's a little scary. Cabin in the Woods touched on that. They go to that gas station.
Cabin Fever. Are you talking Cabin in the Woods?
No, I'm talking about Cabin Fever.
You just said Cabin in the Woods. Though.
Cabin in the Woods has a scene that makes fun of that.
Yes.
Can't do two cabins in the same sentence. Dad.
So Cabin Fever, they go to that gas station, and there's a very rednecky guy,
Hick,
and he's got a gun behind him, and they're like jarred, and they're like, "What's that for?" And he goes, "They're for the N-words." And you're like, what is this movie about to be? And then a whole bunch of like horribly...
No wonder Tarantino asked him to be on Grindhouse.
A horrible, like gory stuff ensued about this, flesh-eating disease. And the whole movie happens. And the last shot of the film is that same guy doing a transaction where he is giving that same rifle to 3 or 4 black guys very in a friendly manner. So the joke is that it wasn't him using it to like as a racist to protect. He was like, this is, like like an arms deal. And this was just a joke that he set up.
What a cool guy. He just
I don't
loves
know.
black people, but
Yeah,
he likes
can you
referring
just
to
say
them.
this for some lovely gentleman that I met.
I'm trying to like frame the like
I see
what
that.
how
remember
it's like
that.
it was dropped in for no reason whatsoever except it's like, can I get away with this? Kind of, I don't know. Let's I would recommend the movie 100%. This has immediately shot up to one of my favorite slashers in the like how much fun did I have, and also like Scream is one of my favorite movies. I love that tongue-in-cheek homage to itself, but also like there are a lot of these little like symbols and like well, all right. So we've said what we thought. Would we recommend it? Now we will creep. Those are not footsteps.
That was good.
It's a Clydesdale.
Hold on.
Muhammad Ali over there.
Into the spoiler room so we can talk about the movie.
Spooky. Wait, I was going to say, Brendan, can you sing us a song about the spoiler room here? He's mouthing it.
It's talking, it's spooky, it's... Oh, fuck you
It's
guys.
good. It's good. Little spoiler room.
Little spoiler room.
He has one?
We're gonna sing a tune about the spoiler round.
Okay.
I'm scared.
All right. So I've got a whole bunch of little nuggets.
I got nuggets as well. So how should we
I got
go
tenders,
about?
dude.
Because
I got chicken
I really
tenders.
want to spit this out because it's the only
Spit
thing
it,
I
spit
really
it.
wrote down.
Blow it quick.
So this is what I'm going to talk about. I'm going to jump back to what I talked about. Eli Roth being this animal rights guy, and Dubs touched on this. The first one that we all noticed collectively, and without even looking too deeply, we noticed, the cat. He didn't kill the cat in that scene when he killed Tim Dillon's character.
You could say he saved the cat.
Yeah,
Famous term.
Save the
in
cat,
movies.
exactly.
Well,
and in this one interview I watched, I read with Eli Roth, he talks about, whenever I watch horror movies, I worry about the animals the most. And when he talked about Alien and Jones the cat in Alien, he was like, I don't care if everyone on the ship dies and is murdered horribly, but I want to see this cat get off the ship somehow.
I want to see what this guy thought about When Evil Lurks, dude. He probably hated it.
And not all movies do this. I mean, like Halloween 4, Jamie's cat is killed. Evil Dead, there's a scene
of
with...
them?
Yeah.
No, but also haunted house movies, a lot of dogs.
Yeah,
and
so like the precious animal, the precious pet will die horribly in a good amount of these movies. But so when the cat wasn't killed, it was shocking to us. We're like, wow, okay, this guy has a heart.
And I think we probably all thought the same thing. Yeah, it's like also, so now we're leaning into the Saw way of doing it. It's like, oh, are we rooting for, because it was pretty not like leaning towards rooting for the bad guy for a while in that.
Right.
Like it wasn't one of those like pretty quickly you're like, oh, I'm on the side of the killer. This actually felt like they were killing semi-innocent people.
Yes.
But then that moment where I think we all sort of look inward and we go, is this a good guy, dude? Is this guy?
True. And then also like every death in the movie conjured images of like preparing animals and cooking and stuff.
I think to put us on track in order. So that's the movie starts with like weird Thanksgiving dinner with the really bad acting. Everyone looks like a wax figure. Again, the more I watched it, the more I was like, this is on purpose. Give him props. There's like the weird mayor that's like not really a character. Then there's like the dad that owns the Right Mart, who's like the main character, who sort of looks like Paul Giamatti playing the Monopoly Man.
He was in Hostel as he has probably the funniest monologue in Hostel, talking about just like, how are you going to kill a man? Like, how do you do it slow? And he's just like so obsessed with the.
Yeah, he's a weirdo. He's got a weird look. He sort of looks like Dr. Phil's bisexual brother. So then they go to the mall, and then we got the most over-the-top Boston accents. These people are trying to get in to the mall, and the door's locked, and then the girl, the main protagonist, Jessica, and takes her friends around back and lets them into the store. So stupid. And then they start flexing on the people that are waiting in line trying to get in, and that causes a riot, which causes our first 3 deaths, I believe.
Yeah. 3 exactly, yes.
Yeah.
So the first little Easter egg, when they're like all arguing outside, and there's the kind of big-bodied lady, and she's like, 2 hits, I hit you, you hit the floor.
Yeah.
So Eli Roth plays the Bear Jew in Inglourious Bastards, and when his character is introduced, and he comes out of the tunnel with the baseball bat, and there's all this build-up to him, and he says something like, Ted Williams goes fucking yard on Lansdowne Street.
Yeah.
And he's like, 2 hits, I hit you, you hit the floor.
Yeah. Although you know where that line comes from.
But he still was doing that as like a...
You know where that line comes from?
What?
See, now we're out of the horror world. Abbie has some knowledge.
Here we go.
Fucking
Buckle in.
Breakfast
Inglourious
Club.
Bastards.
It's from Breakfast Club. The kid says that. Emilio Estevez says that to the other kid. And I thought they were going to follow it up with my other favorite line where he's like, you know what I got for Christmas? It was a fucking bad a year at the Bender family. I got a carton of cigarettes.
So another, just only because we talked about this, another Easter egg, the cat's name was Dewey.
Scream?
So that's...
Decimal system?
So
Malcolm in the Middle?
So a lot of this had a lot of elements
morning
from
grass?
Scream, right? You know, the killer is somebody that wears a popular costume. Oh, God, I don't get it. So, well, the killer in Scary Movie parodying Scream is named Dewey, and I think that's Eli Roth's weird way of like giving an homage to an homage about a parody of an homage. Like, if that makes sense. I do think that was on purpose.
Oh my gosh. God. Yes, I believe the homages were very, very good, and I remember the Bear Jew. One of my favorite characters, maybe of all time.
Talk about bad acting, though. Eli Roth
he was not
terrible.
very good. And it's so weird. He's from Massachusetts, and he did a Boston accent in that, and it was like, dude, that does not sound good.
Fucking rich family from Newton.
Yeah, true.
So, but the beginning, right? So they were very quickly introduced to this theme of like consumerism is bad. Also the barbarianism or barbarism or whatever.
Yeah.
But I remember writing down like cutthroat capitalism. And I swear to this, the very first death is the guy breaking the glass and cutting his throat as he's walking in.
And still grabbing the waffle iron, which was like, was funny.
That was hilarious. And then it's funny that's a waffle iron, and with his last breath, he's grasping at a waffle iron only to be stolen moments later by another patron.
So anyway, just to stick to that overarching theme of like consumerism, America being discussing. So Eli Roth, he has his like favorite thing to do is enact. So you know how like Inglourious Bastards is a like, you know, the fantasy of being able to kill all the Nazis. Django, you know, a slave being able to kill all the white men. Eli Roth has this more like fucked up, twisted, like these American white
killing
tendencies.
Boston people. He's killing his high school bullies.
Well, so Hostel is like, hey, you know, everybody.
Europeans.
No, well, it's the opposite. It's Europeans hate Americans. That's why they're the most expensive.
Theory, dude. All Eli Roth's movies are him killing his high school bullies because you know that man was bullied.
If you've seen The Green Inferno, that's all about how can we mutilate and torture, you know, like the doctors across borders, people that want to save some civilization.
That's with Great White Hope that comes over and fixes the poor people's problems.
So in this, it's like, all right, so the Native Americans instead, it's like, let's fucking these annoying
townies.
Yeah, and even the first kill. So now that we are going to talk about it, when she's trying to escape, She looks at the CCTV. She goes out of her way to grab her purse before she leaves. Yeah. And I noticed that.
And they also had the great scene, which I really give it props. Like, the kills were good in this. When she tries to swipe her phone on with the bloody finger and it won't do it. And then she tries to do facial ID and it can't read her because she's all cut up and bloody. That's fucking brilliant. I love that. I love also that the guy's name is John Carver, which is great. Perfect. And then also my dumbass is like, George Washington Carver? Like, this guy invented the peanut? What is happening? But here we are.
Oh, yeah, right.
And then that death.
Goober, it brings us to Goober Chucker later in the movie.
No spoilers, Goober, dude. You can't really say that either. We're going to bleep it out. Yeah, but the funniest, I mean, that death, again, at first I didn't realize, like, now I'm sort of turning on this because it's so stupid. Maybe it's brilliant. He slices an axe towards her and it gives her like a flesh wound. Then she bumps into and gets hit by the plastic cover of a dumpster, which, like, that might hurt your hand a little bit. It severs her whole body in half. That made no fucking sense in any...
Sometimes those things are pretty heavy metal.
It is not cutting...
Well, it was the car also.
Yeah, but the car
actual, bumping into the
car bumps into it, and then the dumpster plastic top drops so hard that it fucking pops her into two.
That's the thing with serial killer movies, though, slasher movies. You have to suspend a lot of disbelief. Like, it calls for you... Because, like, these killers have almost supernatural abilities where, like, you see them 1 second, and now you don't, and then all of a sudden they're, like, right behind you. Right. They can teleport. They have, like, magic powers. They can kill, in outrageous ways.
And the last thing I'll say about the scene, to set up what I'll talk about later when we talk about my fears, the way that the acting, it's all so ridiculous, it actually made me able to enjoy it more because I was less scared. And I don't know how that plays into the strategy, but I'm not relating to these characters because no one talks or acts or is like this. And it sort of made it more fun for me, but also it feels like if you wanted to make it scary, you wouldn't do that. But the point isn't to be scary. It's to be fun.
Yeah.
So okay.
It's slashers. Most slashers to me, like, are not scary. They're more.
But my biggest fears are slasher movies.
There are the select few, like Halloween, but I think of, like, Scream or the Friday the 13th.
It did check a lot of boxes as a slasher movie, though. Like, killers motivated by revenge. They only use melee weapons like axes, knives.
It was 100%
appear and disappear suddenly. Young people usually dying. Also, these are all classic slasher tropes.
It was also our first whodunit we've done on this podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah. True.
Because they really set up, there was like 7 characters that could have been it, and they played it fun.
Also, my favorite thing about that first kill was not even her getting cut in half. The idea of putting her in the water and then sticking her face to the freezer.
Brilliant.
So good.
Yeah. Really play on that snow, on that classic snow prank you do on the ski slopes. But,
Christmas Story.
So after the shopping market massacre, everything, then there's a year passes. And now it's Thanksgiving again, or approaching. Bobby, the pitcher who threw 95 and a half, I said 96. Will said no, 95 and a half miles per hour. He's disappeared, so now he's a suspect. Because his hand got broken in the thing, so he can't pitch anymore. So then we have the diner kill. Then Bobby's back. We had a great moment where this 5-minute scene we watched for 35 minutes because Bobby comes back and has a conversation with Jessica where they're walking down the street, and the continuity is insanity. Yeah. First they flip sides, and Brendan's like, holy shit, they just flipped sides, this is funny. And Will's like, no, that's okay, time passed. And Will wasn't wrong.
Yeah,
that
true.
Time had passed.
Turned out
and
coffee.
We had played back this 10 seconds for so long, arguing about it, and then we leave it playing. In the next 10 seconds, 7 continuity errors happen. It's insane. Like, coffees are jumping hand to hand. Yeah. They're switching back and forth. It's hilarious.
They're like all of a sudden in the desert, there's a tumbleweed that goes by.
Exactly.
They're like on Mount Everest.
They're
like,
speaking in British accents again.
The funniest to me is the Ray J with the hat.
My God, yeah, that's amazing. Right. So then next is, I think we jump to Tim Dillon, comedian who was just sort of shoehorned in this movie, which was hilarious. So we already talked about that scene where he's killed, he loses his passport, he's killed in front of his cat, and they leave the cat to stay alive. Literal save the cat. If you guys don't know that term, it's like a screenwriting term, which is how you make someone like your protagonist. At the beginning of the movie, you have them save a cat. Very simple. You can also reverse it. If you have someone kill a cat at the beginning, you're going to hate them. Everyone now, for the whole movie, sides against it. This was a joke on that because he literally saved the cat and
killed the fat.
Also, he got killed with the Thanksgiving carving knife, which
that
was great.
That was another one on my list where someone's got killed.
So then there's the 50% off joke. What was it again? It was like,
he's like, if we don't catch this guy, we're all going to be 50% off.
Yeah, which is like,
I thought I just came up with that on my own.
Oh, I thought you knew. You did not. Wow.
Yeah. I'm gonna blame the wine.
Yeah, sure. Will's like, I just wrote another movie and it's called Scream 7, and I think I came up with the idea originally.
It's like a guy with a knife and a hat that's like looks like a kind of a painting, old painting.
Okay, so then now we go to the Hanover. We thought we didn't like our jocks. We really hate the other school's jocks. So this is Hanover High, and we get some nice kills there where the guy is like doing workout scene. That's hilarious. That's like tongue in cheek as fuck. The girlfriend's like, come check this out. They go to a private trampoline room. Duh, we all got those in our school. And she's showing her ass, bouncing around on the trampoline. Those were some good deaths.
So
Slasher imperative, some sort of sexual.
Yes. So I have two things
pop-offs
to say about that.
Will got excited. So not just sexually.
One, they're actually, for a slasher movie and an Eli Roth movie, nobody got fucked in this movie. There was no sex. He's basically
Dubs was like wanting that sex.
He actually
hard.
He's composing a strongly written letter to Eli Roth saying, "Can you please remake it with some sexy time?"
when they started making their way to the trampoline, Dubs turns around in his movie chair and he goes, "There's about to be sex."
He's giving us slasher blue balls. No, seriously though, he's like, I'm gonna give an homage to the thing, and then he's like, but I'm not gonna give you the.
Wow, he's edging us.
Yeah, we're getting edged. There are also no boobs.
Dude. This was the closest to the sex.
Yeah. So in the trailer,
we saw butt though. That's
in the trailer.
We did see butt
in the fake trailer. And
we saw butt, dude. Can you admit we saw some butt? Dude.
You saw butt.
It wasn't even that.
Saw butt is the next Saw movie. So it just goes around sawing butts.
That's actually a Roman numeral, B-U-T.
Yeah.
In the fake trailer, that's one of the like iconic scenes in the iconic whatever. But there's a cheerleader, and I'm pretty sure her boobs come out. But she's bouncing on the trampoline and does a split, and the knife goes right up the jazer, dude.
Whoa.
And I was expecting that to happen, but I think he knew that other people, so he was like, I'm going to dial it up to 14.
He did the knife through the foot first, which we're all like, ooh, that's painful, but she's not even close to
and
dead.
then she just goes, da, 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 da.
Yeah, and then he just goes.
Well, she didn't die.
Muhammad Ali's speed bag. You're right. He just pops her really fast.
Refrigerator.
So she's bouncing on the trampoline. The guy, that was a great death too. When he just turns his head around. Yeah. It was great. Yeah.
Exorcist callback.
They show the wrinkles.
Talk about giving him neck. And then we're outside with the cops. This is when the scene so amazing. When the guy, the jock character who's like horrific. I mean, it's not his fault. It's written like this.
Evan Fletcher, right?
A B. Fletch family member
here. Yeah.
That's Brendan's last name. If you guys didn't know that. The guy gets so mad that the football game's canceled that he not jokingly goes, "I'm gonna go play alone." And someone goes, "You can't play football alone." And he says, "I'm gonna."
He goes, "Watch me."
Yeah, watch me. Yeah. What an insane.
Such a Fletcher thing.
That is a Tim and Eric line.
Such a Fletch.
Yeah. Brendan always stormed away from his family. He said,
solo charades, dude.
Yeah. Solo charades.
Yeah. Dude, you guys want?
The Fletchers are big charades, guys. You can't even see him. He's doing it sounds like he's doing the movie symbol right now. Oh my God, he's acting. Oh, that's gross, Brendan. You can't act that one out.
Yeah, true.
So then, and this is when the famous line gets said. This is when the weird gun guy who just sort of takes part in certain important parts of the movie, no one explains, that sells guns out of his car, is with his dad. He shoots a musket into the air. And
it's a blunderbuss.
A blunderbuss.
McCarthy or Cardi or something is his name.
Cardi B.
Well, that becomes important, though.
Yeah. It's not the blunderbuss right now. But he shoots it in the air. The dad says, like, "You fucking idiot." And then it cuts to the main cop who says...
He's a freaking gooba chucka.
He says that freaking gooba chucka. We all had
to
pause it.
I Googled this. No one in the history of the world has ever used those two words together. In fact, I Googled goober chucker, and the first thing that came up was a TikTok clip of him saying it in the movie.
It's that thing where you Google and you get 0 results. Like, I've never seen that. It was unbelievable. And then I asked ChatGPT, and I kid you not, ChatGPT was like, "I don't like to use language like that. That's offensive." So I was like, "Is it a racial slur? What the fuck is it?" But it's
goober means like a foolish person. Listen, any of you horror heads out there can give us the etymology of goober chucker. We will love it. We
Eli,
will love it.
I will
Send
suck
us
your
an
dick
email
if you call us and tell us.
Oh, also, I know we're going in order, but the title, I will say the title card of this movie was sick.
God, that was
I'm
insane.
obsessed with title
That's like
cards.
an iMovie effect.
No, but it was just like the timing, the edit, and the...
No, they were, again, they're leaning into it. So then they're in
Evil Dead Rises title card was one of the best I've ever
amazing.
seen.
Ooh, I can't remember.
Really, really good. Cell levitating over the pond, lake.
And it's so good.
Very
good. So good.
All right, Abby, hit us.
Okay, so then they're in the school, and then they go into, and Brendan, this is a big question. Me and Will went to a Jersey City inner city school, public school. They go into this suburban high school. There's just a hair salon. There's just a hair salon. No one asks any questions.
It's the glamour gala.
Yeah, Like, what is that a thing?
Well,
With a
there's
whole
beauty
bunch of wigs?
schools. There are like
yeah, but it's a
certain-
high school. Cosmetology
Yeah.
is a very special. That's like going
I've
to
never
school
gone
to
to
be
the high school. They
an
might,
electrician. or
yeah,
something.
no, totally. It was out of place, but they may have a program at the school that.
For what it's worth, that was a cool little.
No, I mean, they were using their head there. Throughout this movie, by the way, they keep showing this Instagram that is the John Carver Instagram that is showing that he is building this massive Thanksgiving dinner with all of the victims that he wants. And he keeps posting it and tagging them, which also hilarious that, bro, you show like one little nip slip and Zuck is taking you right off of Instagram immediately. This guy's showing decapitated heads, no problem. He posted a pro-Palestine thing, bet he'd be kicked off of Instagram immediately.
At the same time, fast forwarding, social media was his downfall.
That's true. That's true.
And I think
It's
that
all
was
of our
that was a
downfalls,
very
really.
important.
That's deep, dude. So then they go to fucking Gun McGunnerson's party.
Oh, yeah,
where
like-
he's got the like creepy like scrawny kid that wears the shades that like his.
That's another big slasher thing, and Scream
Right.
does this where it's like a murder is going on, and then they're like, "Let's go to a party right now,
Yeah.
banger."
Kids are gonna kid,
absolute,
dude.
yeah.
And
I'm
that
surprised
party,
no one died at the
Yeah,
party.
usually people die at the
usually
party.
people die.
beginning to talk to me.
Talk to me, yeah. And then he tries to sell Jessica like that knife thing, but she's like, "No, I'll be good." My friend Scuba Diving has a
Wait, why
Right,
was
he
his
sells
name
Scuba the gun.
Yeah, yeah.
Why
Because he
was
was
His last name's Dybing, Dybing, but his real name's Claude. So he's like, they call me
Claude
Scuba.
Diving?
Right. He's also named Scuba because Eli Roth named him, and Eli Roth has never had a normal human interaction. Clearly.
Didn't one of you guys say Scuba Gooding Jr.?
Yes.
Abbie did.
So then I think this is also, I don't know exactly when it happened, but you brought this up, Will. Like they're showing that their other friend who has like 3 lines, Yulia. And you know it's Yulia, not Julia, because she has Russian earmuffs.
The Russian
yeah.
earmuffs are insane. But also, her getting her intestine. That first of all, that kill was sick.
Yeah, the intestines. The man loved intestines. The man was on a bratwurst kick before he made this movie.
Well,
clearly,
it's like the opposite of stuffing. You know what I'm saying?
come on down, intestine number 4. He put the kill in Kielbasa over here.
Yeah.
Killer.
Wait,
That was
wasn't
the
there a
brat
scene
and
where
bratwurst.
somebody lifted up? This is way earlier when the woman gets cut
He
in
put
half.
the sausage, put the sausage in table sauce.
table saw and sausage.
Wait, do you
table
remember
cranberry
sausage.
sauce and
Do you remember the waitress who gets cut in half? Her body is displayed her half, and they're doing the crime scene, and somebody just lifts up the piece of the intestine that looks like the. That was one of the funniest.
I remember that. Yeah. He's in a dumpster and he has like tongs and he's like handing the like whatever
literally
Italian
looks like
sausage thing.
intestines.
Another food thing that the corn cob holders through the
Oh,
ears.
yes.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that was so good.
Yeah, yeah.
And then a weird Gunner McGunnerson hands her a ring.
She's like, thank you.
Thank you. Do we have a relationship that I got cut out of the
I
movie?
felt bad for Gunnar McGunnerson.
Yeah.
Dude. He's trying his best to get out of this freaking town of Plymouth. He's
He
an
just wants to
entrepreneur.
sell some kids some fucking booze and guns.
And he did like the one nice thing out of everyone in the movie.
Yeah.
These-
So and wait, also simultaneous. I might have missed it, but the stepmom is captured and being seasoned like a turkey. This is where it gets really literal. The points that you guys were making before were more subtle,
yeah.
and now it's literally she's being stuffed like a turkey.
Dude, when he shoves the thermometer
Right.
in her.
She gets captured, thrown in the oven, and then he shoves the thermometer into
Honestly,
her.
I will say he looked like he cooked her pretty well. Like it was it was like the perfect amount of
when
sear.
he cut that thigh meat off, that
Oh,
was
yeah.
kind of gross though, dude. The way it came off.
I was thinking I was
like, that don't look like.
It's like, damn, this burrito went down good. Also, they say white people can't season, dude. You saw what he did. He put some salt on
the salt was
it.
that was like full grain sea salt
Yeah,
too.
that's expensive shit. That's Whole Foods, baby. Okay, so then now it's parade time, dude. They make a plan. They're going to the Macy's Day Parade. Nope, it's the Plymouth Day Parade, the Carver Parade.
in Gotham City of
Yeah,
the Dark Knight.
exactly.
And that was like the Scream homage where like everybody's going to be wearing that suit or whatever. And then it turns out that a turkey, again, decapitated, literally head cut off by somebody in a clown mask that has tear gas and then it turned into
And why did it was
The
a
Thanksgiving
Joker
parade. Why is he wearing that?
Why is he wearing the
costume?
Joker head? Why was he not
So
dressed
the
as a Carver? Why was he dressed as a clown?
because he knew they were looking for a Carver.
But
yeah.
it's like, why was there a clown?
You see
period?
like
Well,
a
the
weird
clown
clown
was-
at a Thanksgiving
Yeah,
parade.
you'd
You
be
go,
like,
what is
Oh,
that?
yeah. Well, I don't know. He just
In this
wanted
universe,
to still
does the Joker exist?
Well,
Dubs
he's,
will do anything to defend this movie.
No,
It's
no,
his
well,
favorite movie of the year. This is insane. Dubs loves this freaking movie.
no, well, he still needed a mask.
Yeah,
of
so
some
pick
sort.
a mask that has
Yeah.
something to do
A
with
turkey.
Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving.
What? There was already a turkey whose head he needed to cut off.
He can't be a second turkey. He's got to be a clown.
He couldn't been a Native American.
We can't have turkey on turkey crime.
Couldn't
But
been a
also
can of cranberry sauce, dude. He couldn't been
That would have been
a string bean or a mashed potato or a canned yam.
A mac and cheese.
It's
or a pumpkin
candied
pie.
yam. Canned
Or
yam?
I only eat canned yams, dude.
That's
Because you can't get ham.
I don't can my canned yams. Coming back with the master plan.
So also, he's dressed in a clown outfit. He's the jocker. He decapitates the fuck out of Lionel through the turkey costume. This causes chaos, and then they shoot that guy through the fucking forehead. That was sick.
Oh no, it wasn't. It was like a pole.
A pole. Yeah,
that was one of my favorite.
When it goes through his face, his nose upturns.
Yeah, it's
and
called
it looks like
shawarma. Have you ever had it?
and it looks like he's a pig getting skewered. Dude, another
a
food.
pig on Thanksgiving? Sorry, I don't think so.
Damn, dude.
Don't skewer this point. So now we're at the final dinner table. People are tied up. Daddy Monopoly Man is fucking crying as he sees his wife being chopped up,
Carved by
Eaten.
John
So
Carver.
that was the second thing that I remember from the fake trailer. So one was the trampoline. The other was they set it up like a Thanksgiving dinner, and it looks like he's panning in on a turkey, and then the legs are like human legs.
Yeah.
But the dinner scene had my favorite line, I think, in the whole movie, or favorite section. So he's streaming it, and again, I was saying lives and dies by the the voyeurism or the self promotion. But he says to go viral, you really got to hit people over the head, and then takes the meat smasher,
another food weapon.
Yeah, we get it. It's a movie about food, dude.
It was so subtle. I don't know how Brendan caught it. It's crazy.
Dude, it's a movie about animal cruelty, dude. It's a movie about, like you said, consumerism and just gluttonous pigs that, feast until their seams are busting.
You guys you loved it. You guys loved it. And Brendan is coming. You're coming around. I feel like you're like, this movie is good.
It was fine, dude. It was fine.
But yeah, and then he bludgeons this guy's head.
He at the dinner too. So the police are chasing him. This is their sort of Silence of the Lambs moment. They're like, oh, it's right here, and they open it, and it's not. It's like the fake out, and they're just in like secret Plymouth tunnels.
And
like
they just had the most intricate GPS satellite. Oh my God, it's Jason Bourne.
Yeah. It was such a 90s hacking movie.
Yeah, man in the
it's
chair.
Like we pinpointed the latitudes.
And then also, the whole dinner scene, Mr. Carver over here, he just decides to throw on a little like customer service headset to do his speech.
He was. He had a microphone.
Yeah, but before it was like of all the rules that you've been breaking.
Hosting.
It was like
Eli
a TED
Roth.
Talk.
Dude,
he was doing a TED Talk.
Exactly. He was like Britney Spears live.
He's hosting Thanksgiving dinner. He had to be a good.
Dubs wears a headset on Thanksgiving
Will's
dinner.
like, dude, how do they not hear my jokes?
He talks over everyone.
I just don't understand why no other scene do we worry about. Like, they don't even have continuity or spell the characters' names right. But they're like, if we have him like well enunciated without a mic, it will really throw it off. So toss him one of those little headsets.
He's like, I haven't talked all movie. So the scene I am talking, I want to be well projected.
I want to be able to
everyone.
use my hands very well. So make it a headset. That was very strange.
All right, and then this is what happens in a lot of slashers: is once you find out who the killer is, which happens right after that.
You're disappointed.
Yeah, and it becomes like one final chase.
But yeah.
But you do hope. I was hoping that they, they're gonna get one really good final kill. I was a little disappointed by the final kill.
Yeah, I agree. And also with the twist. So looking back, it's what's his name? Peter. What's the actor's name?
Dinklage.
No, not Jack
No.
Dempsey. That's a
It's literally-
boxer from the
he was
1950s.
right.
Patrick Dempsey.
Patrick Dempsey.
Looking back at the twist, it's funny because there's one character of all the suspects that is a famous actor, Patrick Dempsey, whatever his name. Patrick Dempsey. Also recently
Quote, unquote,
named 2023's Sexiest Man of the Year.
Yeah,
Really?
Yeah, which is crazy because he's good looking, but I didn't
He's an
think
old
that.
guy, too. He's like 60.
So either way, looking
Well,
back,
what's
it's like
cooking? Good looking.
Hey, I'm about to cook it in him. I'm gonna put my thermometer in him. See what it's like looking back, like duh, he's gonna be either he's a passive cop that doesn't play a big role, or he's the killer. Like looking back, we should have known he was a fucking killer. Also, as
Isn't it interesting that but we never talk.
None of us,
Dupe does.
Yeah.
We're like, dude, that's the killer. Mitch is the killer. He's got the most to avenge.
I know, we're like, this movie's so dumb. Also, I can't figure it out. And also, he
this
said,
movie's so dumb. Yeah, we were stumped, all three of us.
I did name it though at one point, and I was right. He goes in the first scene. He walks in and he goes, oh yeah, I have been getting into baking ever since I was single.
Yeah, you did say that. I remember that.
So
that was a good call, dude. You were literally the only person to actually bring that up.
Call me Eli Roth did.
That's a good foreboding.
It was a foreboding. A big flaw with this movie is that the killer, like you said, a lot of times the killer reveal is I said this before. Making a bunch of questions is easy, filmmaking wise. Tying the bow at the end is like borderline impossible. That's why the greatest movies, it's like unbelievable ways to tie it. This one was so. Like, they were like, it's literally like the War of the Worlds thing, where at the end they're like, oh yeah, and then a bacteria killed everybody. They were like, oh yeah, and his motive was also he was sleeping with the wife, and like he was also sad, and it was just like, you guys didn't set that up at all. Like,
yeah, they did a little bit. You could tell there was some tension when they walked in. Like, and that's the thing with foreshadowing. Okay. It's like you don't realize it's foreshadowing until the shadows appear.
But they made it pretty subtle.
Also, Scream, like think about Scream, like the quintessential like slasher prototype. There's no way to guess. First of all, there's two of them, right? And then
that's a good twist.
No, but they just tell you at the last second. They're like, well, his mom was having an affair with his dad, and that's why he wanted to do the killing.
Yeah. And then it was like all this exposition as to why they're the killers.
There was absolutely no reason for you to be able to predict
because that's the point. You don't want to know.
Yeah.
Like they want to make it almost impossible for you to predict who it is.
That's fair.
And so the unborn child. Because an affair, I feel like, is not enough reason to go.
So they throw in the pregnancy
unborn
pic.
child. So, but at first, I was thinking, I was like, why? So why do you kill like Tim Dillon or like the
Tim
waitress?
Dillon probably did the least.
The waitress, but so it's everybody that was responsible in any shape or
for
form
her specific
for the riot happening, I guess. And I guess all the teenagers just for going in that room are responsible.
Yeah, because Evan Fletcher's like, yeah, I got the phone, and they're like, what the hell?
And then they hand over kids just because they were being douchey.
Right. No, they caused the riot.
It's just like, I mean, none of them were that responsible.
Yeah, of course.
No, I agree.
Course. It's all ridiculous.
And then they catch him, like you said, it was a little underwhelming, but he catches him with out of nowhere. Bobby comes back, his arm's fixed, and he throws a 96 this time, breaks 95.5, 96 mile per hour hammer throw, like he's fucking Bowser.
I rewatched it.
You know how they throw hammers.
I rewatched it last night, and I still couldn't tell what he threw.
It was his Randy Johnson hitting the pigeon moment.
Just
flew through it. But yeah, it was underwhelming. Like they had such cool deaths with the table saw and the trampoline, and then it's like, oh, he got hit by a hammer. Then that doesn't kill him, and then the real death is that they blow up a nitrous fucking tank.
Well, they don't know he's dead.
Right. That's true. They set up for the sequel. But.
Yes,
but also Valentine's Day.
So
I thought it was going to be like actually more woke, and the sequel's going to be Passover.
Shit, dude.
Eli Roth is Jewish, like us.
They're going to burn
Abbie,
for
not
8 extra days.
There can only be
that's Hanukkah.
2 chosen people.
Maybe that's why
he
loves Spyglass.
It's so 2 chosen people and a Brendan. Anyway, but she starts packing the blunderbuss. And I was like, oh wow, she's gonna blow his head off. This is gonna be sick. And then she just shoots the
it was like a little twist at the end.
Well, I guess she had to shoot the turkey, you know.
The funniest setup,
and the turkey has to kill him.
The funniest setup to that was when McCarthy, the gun guy, is firing it earlier in the movie. She's like, oh man, I can't even stand the smell of that because like someone taught me how to load a musket and shoot it, and I just honestly couldn't really get the hang of it. And eventually I kept trying, and I could learn how to do the musket, but I really hate muskets. We're like, what? Why did you just go on this diatribe about muskets?
Chekhov's musket gun.
But it's also,
and at the end we're like, okay, she's gonna fire this thing, dude.
What bothered me is that her boyfriend at the end that she wakes up in bed with is the chattier dude, not the Bobby
Ryan.
that saved her.
No, they never did one thing that
to
made
make
Ryan
him
seem
likable.
good.
Yeah.
But like, I'm just copping Adderall for my boy, dude. You fucking idiot. Dude. And they're like, stop fighting it. Like,
he's like, this is what smart people do to get into high school.
I love that as a moment
like,
to cover your ass in an argument. Try using that next time you guys are in an argument. Be like, no, you dumbass. I was illegally buying uppers,
I was
bro.
buying illicit substances. You fucking idiot.
God, I can't believe it. That was, okay.
Anyway, so she wakes up and there's like a dream of the fiery Jack Dempsey grabbing her and then credits. Which, by the way, Misfits credit song. It was Where Eagles Dare, I think.
Yeah, it was much too good of a song for that fucking movie. They did not deserve to get the rights to
What's
that.
that called?
Dude, you liked it.
Denouement at the end? when you have that little tag at the end.
I ain't no goddamn son of a bitch.
I think it's like
Better think about it, baby.
it's like a French term for cliffhanger.
All right. So, Baby in the Corner. We talk about this every episode. So, we haven't even. This wasn't a very scary movie necessarily, but it's 2 men.
I'll be the judge of that.
It's 2 men and a baby, and one of us is scared of horror movies. He doesn't like them, and usually he gets more scared than me and Brendan do. So, Abbie.
So, this is Baby in the Corner. Brendan, sing us that song you wrote about this.
There's a baby in the corner. Is he scared or is he not?
There we go. Yes. So, as Will said, I'm very scared easily. This was so stupid. The second that the movie started, like I said, they made the characters so unrealistic. They all look like wax figures that I said, I'm not scared of this. And yet still, once it got dark, when it's in the closet scene, Tim Dillon literally burps out of fear, which is hilarious. This is a comedian that I've seen do stand-up. He burps out of fear. You burp out of everything. And then...
You're trash.
And I'm still terrified. And I was still terrified. But overall, he made the character so unrealistic that it was not... Usually slashers are my real fear and loathing, and this was not that scary. So I'm gonna say
On the Binkymeter,
I'm gonna say 6.
6.
6 out of 10, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, we didn't even talk about that one jump scare that the 3 of us were arguing over with the, hey, what is he? He's like, what's that over there? Or what's the...
Oh, yeah. He's like, that's weird. And then it gets chloroformed. Yeah, the thing is, I still said 6 because as much as it's stupid and as much as I'm saying all this and I believe it was dumb and it's funny, and the more I talk about it, the more I like the movie, actually. Mm-hmm. But to be honest, that shit scares me. It's quiet. Fucking slashing scares me, and we were in this room, and I think I was able to sort of defer it because there's no other people in the theater, so I could sort of talk to you guys, which is another way of me defense mechanisming all over the place. I defense mechanismed all over that place.
At the same time,
we need a black light.
Yeah, it was crazy.
At the same time, When Evil Lurks, we also watched in that room, and that was scary.
Fucked up.
There was one jump scare in this movie. I can't remember which one it was.
No, I had a few. The closet really fucked me up. Oh yeah, and then there was the scene we didn't even talk about where he threw the pitchfork. That was just cool because that's not scary as much as it was like it was fucking Janice Javelin over there.
So this brings us to the next segment, which we're calling Rotten Estimato.
Food.
Where I know the score, but these 2 gentlemen try to guess it. What do you guys think this gained on the tomato meter?
Listen up. This is what goes on. 49% Rotten Tomatoes score prediction.
And then what about audience?
I'm going to say audience score 69%.
Interesting. Yeah, I think definitely audience score is going to be much higher because if you're seeing this movie, you know what you're seeing. You know, it's not like I'm going to guess critic score. I mean, again, the more I think about it, the more my score is going up because it's so stupid. It's on purpose.
It's so fucking
I'm going to say critic score 60, audience 80.
So you guys are wrong in both that the audience...
Oh, we didn't get an exactly right number?
No, so the audience score is actually lower than the critic score, which
really?
is very...
Interesting.
That is really weird.
So critic score, 83%.
Wow.
Get the fuck out of here.
With 144 reviews, also certified fresh, which means the editors also liked it. And audience score is 79%.
The fucking new Michael Mann movie's like 10% less than that. That's
because this was...
You know what, guys? This movie actually was pretty good. Now that I think about it, after listening to the reviews.
Now that I'm a critic.
All I'm saying is, like,
I always knew it was better.
If you watch another just like run-of-the-mill slasher tomorrow, it's going to be worse than this movie.
I just don't like I don't like slashers in general, and I think that's what's informing my score.
There's so few good ones that the ones that are... This was funny.
I mean, the kills were good.
It was funny. The kills were good. It actually did have a theme about American consumerism and
food.
like
food.
Greed and
are we done? Because I got a segment. So this movie's about food, and I wrote a song about it.
Oh my God! Surprise!
Secret segment.
I'm gonna carve you up. You're my turkey. I'm gonna roast you down to your crispy brown, and then I'll put corn cob holders in your ears with corn. you don't hear the sound of me chopping your head off with an axe blade.
The beat drop.
Or pasting your skin till it's silky smooth, and I'll throw your carcass in the dumpster with all the leftover Thanksgiving food. Happy Thanksgiving, y'all.
Wow.
There you guys.
Unbelievable, Brendan. That's really good.
Thanks, dude. I did it 5 minutes before picking up dubs.
Well, yeah, give your excuses.
Thanks,
That's
thanks.
very good.
And now we can pretty much wrap this up because the best parts are over.
The best
Thank you,
parts
guys.
are over. All right, bow time.
I gave it 8.2 Papagenos, and that's the same score I gave
good.
Talk to Me, which is
my
crazy.
God.
But I was thinking about Talk to Me deserved a higher score. I pretty much besides Saw, I think I've been scared to give good scores until now. I would say 8.2, maybe even higher. I really like this movie, and I think it's going to be one that I rewatch.
8.2.
8.2.
Damn, dude.
Jesus
I
Christ.
had a
big.
blast.
And Papagenos, no less.
Dude.
Well, this ain't Papagenos, kids.
Yeah.
I mean, I
didn't just roll a stomach and Marlboro for a box of quads.
So, yeah, I mean, 8.2,
Wow.
that's a great score. I don't even know.
Unbelievable.
I'm going to have to give this like a 6.5 Goober Chucks.
Wow. Brendan, that's so close.
Can I
to
say
what
one
was gonna
thing,
do.
though?
Yeah, this is this segment where Will convinces us that our opinions are wrong.
Yeah.
No. So
Can I say
we
one thing, dude? Because, listen, dude, if you give 8.5, there's no room to go up.
no, but so
Like,
we
these are the top movies: Exorcist, The
Yeah.
Thing,
No,
and
you
Thanksgiving.
You gave Exorcist probably like an 8.9 or something.
No,
No,
9.2.
it's way higher.
9.3.
But we talked. I don't know if it was with me and you, Abby, or me and you, Brendan. But we were
Let's get
talking
into
about.
it. Let's talk for a while about who talked about it.
Yeah, let's talk about who talked
but-
about it first.
We were talking about Saw X again after the episode. And you guys gave it like 5.4s or whatever. But we had a good time watching that movie, and we disagreed about how serious or not serious or whatever. But maybe let it ruminate.
It's almost like you're saying you're
Marinate.
going to give it a good score, and then you did.
No, but all I'm saying is if.
You're right. 10.
Actually, I'm going to give it a 12.
Can I actually go higher than
Said
10?
ruminate, marinate.
Wait, I have a question. Can I go higher than 10?
Yeah.
All right, Abby, go before I listen.
right.
I hear one more freaking word from this Goober Chuck.
Wait, what was the score you gave, Brendan?
6.9.
6.5.
Oh, that's higher.
6.5.
That's good.
6.5. So
right down the middle.
I was actually, and this is not biased by you, Brendan, I was going to give it a 6.3. And so I'm going to stick with that because I'm a man of my word. And I did notice this one crazy thing I want to say before this pod ends. It was about food. And in addition to that, I'm going to give it 6.3 little just itty bitty buying my time to think of a thing to think. I'm going to give it 6.3 just George Washington Carver's nice peanut mills.
George Carver Washington's nuts. Thank you so much, guys. This one goes out to J.C.
Wentworth.
W. George
$187 cash now.
Yeah, and honestly, really stay tuned next week when we're gonna have
JCGC. What the hell is
have
that?
Eli Roth in studio. And the thing about Eli Roth, he's gonna be in studio and he's only gonna talk about one thing and one thing only, and it's why he didn't put boobies in that movie. Will has a lot of hard hitting questions about that, and we're gonna get to the bottom of it.
Eli Roth in studio next week. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Play that song, Brendan.
I'm gonna carve you up, you're my turkey. I'm gonna roast you down to your crispy brown, and then I'll put corn cob holders in your ears of corn, so you don't hear the sound of me chopping your head off with an axe blade, or basting your skin till it's silky smooth, and I'll throw your carcass in the dumpster with all the leftover Thanksgiving food. Happy Thanksgiving, y'all.